Right guys, hi, we're back at the Milverton Lodge. It's the dining team once again, me Dynamic Debs.
Me Romeo Jones.
And me Delicious Leslie.
And we've got some friends with us who are going to put us right on a few things that we've got wrong here at the Milverton Lodge. Some great stories.
Yeah, and Mr. Shepherd, yeah, you're right. Jet Harris didn't perform at the ABC studios. We're going up there later on, so we'll tell you more about that one when we get up there. But for now, like Debbie just said, we've got a guy with us and we're going to put a few stories correct because
will be
it's
amazed.
coming straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
So stick with us, and it may be a bit long, but we've got to get this in.
Very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah,
What I'm
you're
gonna do-
our expert.
What I'm going to do
Yes.
now is I'm going to introduce you to Brian. Right, we're here at the Milverton Lodge, Brian, and your name is?
Brian's Beats.
Brian's Beats from...
Mike Zodiac Rock and Roll Show.
Yes, and you can listen to them on Sunday
All
evening.
FM 96.9, yeah. Not this Sunday, not tonight, but next week.
Right, but it's every other Sunday, so just check it out on All FM. Now, Brian, you've got a bit of information that in part one, we done it wrong, or said it wrong.
Well, in the 90s, my wife worked here and she knew bits and pieces about the history from the original owner. His father was here at the time and then his son took over. What happened next was, after your last film, I sent this off to Martin Berlin. He put on and said there was quite a few things wrong here, quite wrong. Like, for instance, the Rolling Stones, they didn't stay here. They did come here to a press conference
Right.
because it was a private club. Also, Beatles came here to a press conference as well. That's great news for me because I'm a massive Beatles fan. Tom Jones stayed here. I've got a list of people who've stayed here over the years, and
Right.
fantastic.
So-
Diana Dawes.
So the Rolling Stones never owned this.
No, the Stones never
So
owned this.
I'm sorry for putting that out on the last one, but I was told that by the manager of this. So, and there's another thing with the Eddie Cochran thing.
Yeah.
The story of him where I said he came running down the stairs, grabbed the manager by the
Screaming, bawling, crying.
ball.
It's
That
not-
didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. No, it sort of happened, but not quite like that.
Right. So we're going to run into that now
Yeah.
because you've told me also it didn't even happen here.
It happened behind, which is part of the same complex. It was the same address, same building. Well, not the same building. It was like an annex building at the back, which I think the Berlin family lived there, and they rented out. They had 3 rooms. One was a big private room.
So-
Eddie and Jean stayed.
So who was the actual manager?
Arnold
on
Berlin,
Arnold Berlin.
Yeah.
He was actually the manager here
manager and owner.
and owner,
Yeah.
right? So, and he's the one that Eddie spoke to. We're
Yeah.
going to come to it. Right, we're going to come up with more information now. Stick with us. Back in 1 minute. So here we are, Milverton Lodge. Apparently it wasn't here. He did stay here, like you just said, but at the building at the back, which is that one there. Yes, my famous fingers coming into it again. Right, so they did stay here in this building. Now, what I was told off Brian was the Berlins lived here. They actually lived here and they rented off 2 or maybe three rooms in this building, and Eddie and Jean stayed in this side of the building, which is like an annex to the Milverton Lodge, which is over there, and it is Gables. I think it's student accommodation now, and we did take a walk around the building earlier on with Brian and trying to find out where the actual entrance is to the building, just to put it down, that's all. Now we came up with 2 different entrances that could have been. First one, there was one there, by looking at the brickwork it's different to the rest, and that would have been maybe, a bit windy, maybe that entrance there, because they said the Berlins had an office on the ground floor and it was a big room. That one, that looks like a rather large room just coming off if that was a doorway. And if you walk around the building, one of these rooms in here Eddie would have stayed in, and one Gene Vincent would have stayed in. Oh, that's new. and that would have been the gable end there. Right, I'll take you around to the other entrance that's still there now, which I think would have been the actual main entrance to the building, because it's got an actual porchway on it, and well, it's a really nice building. But this destroys a few stories from when the earl say that he stayed at the Milverton Lodge, and it wasn't, it was here, the gables. Now that looks like the actual old entrance type to a building, because there's a little room which could have been an office. And with the corners being the way they are, it just looks like an entrance rather than a back entrance. Now there again, that's the other side of the building with the gable. Right, so what we're going to do now is speak to Brian again, and he's going to tell us all about the story of Eddie Cochran and Jean Vincent, what he's heard first hand on the telephone this week to, was it Martin Berlin?
Martin Berlin, about his father Arnold, yeah.
Right, Brian, we were talking earlier, and you've been on the phone to Martin Berlin and a couple of times this week.
Yeah.
So, from the first phone call, can you explain what he said to you?
We wanted to put a couple of points straight, like I said about the Rolling Stones, all the bits and pieces, but I was more interested. The Rolling Stones ever owned this place. First of all, this is called the Gables, and it's still part of the Milverton Lodge complex. It's like a satellite, it's just there's a bit of space in between. I think the Berlins actually lived here, and they let out like 3 rooms, as I said. On the phone call, he was telling me that what happened on the night. All the storybooks, the documentaries, all the films, they go on about Sharon Shealy waking up and Eddie was screaming, down on the stairs, he's beating on the office door of the manager's office, got hold of the manager by the lapels, beating him, that sort of thing, panicking, I'm going to die, no one's going to stop me. That didn't happen. It came from a phone call. Eddie used to phone home all the time, not just from here, but on the whole tour. He was terribly homesick, and sometimes them phone calls would be up to 2 hours long. And this is America, remember? Los Angeles he was phoning, from Manchester and wherever in England. This particular night we had to wait for a line, because you couldn't just phone up straight away then in them days, to get to America. So Arnold was up in his office, because the phone was in his office, waiting up with him. And they managed to get through to a line, and then Arnold probably would have left him a bit of privacy. And he went on for ages and ages. I'm not too sure how long, that had been up to 2 hours. And in them days, they were called either call collect or trunk calls, but now and again the people on the lines would say to you, kind of operator would say, that's cost so much up to now. You come off the phone, and the manager, Arnold Berlin, said to him, Eddie, that's cost you over £100, that phone call to America. I know, don't worry about it. Yeah, but why are you on the phone all the time? You're going home in 2 weeks' time. You're going to see your family and friends. You've got 2 weeks' time. What are you phoning home for? Your girlfriend's here. Why are you so homesick? No, I've got this awful feeling something horrible's going to die. And that's something, I'm going to die. Just said like that. So I said, hang on a minute, right, so wait a minute. And he opened up the bar. Whether it was in here, a small bar, or in the main building itself, the main bar, he opened it up and they sat there having a drink. And he said to him, I'm seriously thinking of getting the boat home, sailing home. Well, he's back in 2 weeks' time, so it would have took a week to sail back there and back. That wouldn't have happened. I don't want to use trains, I'm frightened to death of the trains, something going wrong with the train, I'm not using trains. So Arnold said to him, well, trains are much safer than, sorry, going back to that, he said, I'm going to use cars. So Arnold said to him, no, trains are much safer than cars, you know what I mean? You've got more chance of dying in the car than on the train. Mm-hmm. And he's basically on that conversation, it was just a conversation. Yeah. And he tried to calm him down and all the rest of it, and they went to bed. That was the last I heard of it.
So we didn't have a doctor come round and sedate him?
No doctor came round, and that was the end of it, until 2 weeks later when Arnold found out what happened and he was devastated. But there was no doctors came, there was no screening, but it was just a simple conversation which started because it was just inquiry about this expensive phone call. £100.
Yeah, for
that phone call. That's equivalent of nearly £2,000 today.
Yeah.
That phone call.
So, and also the story, because we're going to go to the record shop, which is in Stevenson Square, which turned in, because I remember it as the coffee pot.
I remember it as a coffee pot, yeah.
And we're going to take a trip over to Stevenson Square. Now, there's a little story that the he turned up there with glasses on. For what reason?
Sunglasses on, yeah, this is in March, so I don't know really. In this room behind me, somewhere, Eddie and Jean, they always play fighting. They used to share a room apparently. They always play fighting, and this got out of hand one day. I think Eddie elbowed in the eye or something happened,
Yeah.
or something threw his shoe at him or something. But he had a black eye, he had a shiner. Went to a record shop, he had dark glasses on. Okay, so he'd done the same. That night when he was playing at the Hippodrome, people shouting, a girl shouted, take your glasses off, take your glasses off. And he lifted his glasses up and went, ooh, ah, like that.
Yep,
And a big scream happened.
Yep.
And he went, oh, that's good. He had a reaction.
And he done it again.
He used that for the whole the tour I was in England. He used
Right,
this
very
for
good.
his props.
Now that would have been Friday, April the 1st. That would have been happened.
Yeah.
That he wore the glasses, because that's when he went to the record shop in Stevenson Square, and he also went to Oldham to the Carnival Ball for the presentation.
Right, we're here now in Stevenson Square in Manchester, and we're going to show you a place where Eddie Cochran came during his tour of Britain when he was appearing in Manchester at the Hippodrome. Because if I point over to that way, if we turn the camera around, now that there is a coffee shop called the Corner Boy. But before that, it was known as the Coffee Pot. But before that, keep looking at it, was a record shop. And during the tour in Manchester, when Jean and Eddie were at the Hippodrome, Eddie came down here. I think it was the 1st of April, was it?
It was the 1st of April.
Friday.
Right, let's get the location of where we are. Right, so we are in Stevenson Square in Manchester. That way takes you to London Road Railway Station, Piccadilly. There is the Coffee Pot, which
Now-
is now the
Corner Boy.
Corner Boy, and that takes you down to
Northern Quarter.
Northern Quarter, which is
Thomas Street.
yes. Right, so that's where we are now. Right, as you were saying, it was April the 1st.
Yes.
It was a Friday,
Yep.
and it was 12:30, and Eddie Cochran had a record signing in this shop here. It was just a record shop. I'm sure I've got a picture. If I have, I'll put it up, but I've not got a picture from the actual year 1960. I think it's from 1966, but I will put it up. If anyone else has got any pictures of the inside or of it in 1960, we'd be grateful if you could put them in the comments below on this video. But yep, that is where Eddie Cochran turned up on April the 1st, 12:30, to do a
Sign.
record signing. Now, a little thing I did get told was when Eddie turned up here, he had dark glasses on. It was it was April, it was dark. Well, not
Why
dark,
would you
but-
wear sunglasses?
And he had
Yeah.
sunglasses on. Now, apparently, from what I've read or been told, is he was messing about in the hotel, Milverton Lodge, and he got himself a black eye. So he put the glasses on to cover his black eye when he came here.
Because that
So-
may also go into when he was going to the carnival in Oldham. He said he had a bit of an eye infection, whereas now that could coincide with
Coincide
somebody
with
getting a
black
black eye.
Now, you just mentioned the Oldham Carnival. That was the same day, April the 1st.
Yes, that was
And
at the
that was-
night time.
And that was where?
That was at the Hill Stores, which is on the Ripponden and Huddersfield Road. It was a ballroom, so it was the carnival ball, not the carnival itself, which was to be taking place in the June, which unfortunately Eddie and Jean were booked to go back to the carnival. Sadly, as we all know, that Eddie was killed in a car crash on the 17th of April 1960, but we were due to come back into Manchester to carry on a tour and visit Oldham again. Well, it was Chaddington because it was the carnival.
Right, what we'll do is we'll nip over to those stores now, and we'll actually show you the building where they went, and the ballroom. Hopefully we can get inside. If not, you can actually see the outside. Stay with us.